Maybe you and your sibling disagree about what to do with the house that you inherited. Right now, it's just tense conversations and a lot of silence. And you're questioning whether this is normal or is it headed somewhere a lot worse. I am Asthana at Southern Estate Lawyers. I want to help you understand the difference and what your options actually are before this becomes a lawsuit. Here's the truth: almost every family disagrees about something after a loss. That disagreement on its own is not an estate dispute. It becomes one when a few things happen. When someone stops communicating or stops sharing information they're supposed to share. When a decision has to be made and no one can agree, and there's no way to break a tie. Or when someone believes that a document or a person in charge is not being honest. If you're just frustrated, that's normal. But if you feel stuck, well, that's the beginning of a real dispute. Let's make this concrete because this kind of situation comes up constantly. Two siblings inherit their parents' house together. One wants to move in, the other wants to sell and split the money. At first, that is just a disagreement. They can still talk it through, agree on value. Maybe one buys out the other. But if they cannot agree and neither will budge, that disagreement has nowhere left to go on its own. That's the moment a dispute is about to become something more. So, what does escalation actually look like legally? For the siblings and the house, Alabama law has a specific answer. Either one of them can file what's called a partition action. This action has to be filed in the circuit court, and it asks the court to either divide the property or, more often with a house, order it sold and split the proceeds. Neither sibling needs the other's permission to file such an action. Alabama does have protections here for inherited real property specifically, like requiring a notice to every heir and ordering a fair appraisal before a forced sale. But once that petition is filed, the decision now is in the court's hands and not the family's. Other estate disputes escalate in their own ways. A dispute over a will can become a will contest. Concerns about how an executor or a trustee is handling money or property can become a claim for breach of fiduciary duties. And sometimes a dispute has nothing to do with how an estate is being administered. It's a suspicion that a parent or a grandparent's will or trust was changed by the actions of someone who had too much influence over them, or at a time when they were not of sound mind. That has its own legal path, too. Different disagreements, but the same pattern. Once informal conversations fail, the law provides a formal path forward. Before you file anything, a few things are worth trying. Get everything in writing. Verbal agreements between family members fall apart the moment memories start to differ. Get a neutral, professional valuation if money or property is the sticking point. So you're arguing about facts and not mere guesses. And if you have to go to court, then consider mediation, where a neutral third party can often unlock a conversation that's stalled between family members. It costs far less than taking a case to trial, and it keeps the decision in your hands instead of in the hands of a judge and jury. So, how do you know it's time to get a lawyer involved? If conversation has completely broken down, if someone is refusing to share records that they are legally required to share, if you suspect real wrongdoing, not just a decision that you disagree with, or if you watched a loved one's plan change suddenly and it doesn't sit right with you, or if you're not sure what your legal rights even are in this situation. One more honest point. Several estate deadlines in Alabama are short, so even if you're not ready to take action, it's worth finding out where you stand before time runs out on you. As Southern Estate Lawyers, this is exactly where we like to get involved. Often, an early conversation with a lawyer may prevent a dispute from becoming a lawsuit at all. We'll give you an honest read on where you stand, what your options are, including the ones short of a courtroom. And if it does need to go further, well, we're experienced trial lawyers who are ready to take it there. We have offices in Foley, Mobile, and Birmingham, and we serve families throughout Alabama. If you're in the middle of a disagreement over an estate and you don't know if it's serious, that uncertainty is exactly where a conversation with a lawyer helps. Call Southern Estate Lawyers for a free consultation, and we look forward to working for you.